Yes, we have a global operation at Brandix. We manufacture across 5 different countries, and we have design centers and front-end operations in UK, US, and Hong Kong as well. But India is one of our largest manufacturing locations. So we have a 1,000-acre apparel park in Visakhapatnam, which is an integrated end-to-end textile and apparel setup, where we have everything from apparel to fabric to labels to elastics set up in this park itself, which enables us to deliver speed and agility to our customers. So we have 22,000 people working for us in the park itself right now. It's the single largest employer of women in one location, as we know, in India. So it's a sizable operation, and happy to be taking part of the session today.
Great, Suchira. With all the new jargons in the industry, so the new jargon that has coming in picture is dark factory. So dark factory, is the apparel industry ready for this? And how soon you think that would hit in India and would be fully operational?
A true dark factory may still be a few years away from us, but we are getting closer and closer to the concept each day. Outside India, we have sew-free, seamless knitting facilities that have much less human intervention by a magnitude than a traditional apparel factory with thousands of operators. We have factories using digitization and automation, practicing many concepts of Factory 4.0 that can generate the same output with about half the workforce needed by a traditional factory. So we are getting there. We are rolling out these concepts gradually across our footprint. But as you'd expect, many of this is partly driven by necessity. Naturally, locations with high and rapidly increasing labor costs will be prioritized due to the high return on the investment, due to the higher savings. We have seen that happen first in the Western world and then in the Far East. And the time for South Asia, I believe, is now approaching. We have already introduced most of these in some of our overseas locations, and gradually we will be rolling out some in India now. So it's coming soon.
Sure. So should I safely say that we are partially a dark factory in Brandix right now?
Not quite yet. So all to be a true dark factory, you should be able to switch off your air conditioning and lights. We are not there yet. We still have a lot of human intervention. We'll discuss as we go along what's needed to get into that true concept of a dark factory as we move forward in the industry.
All right, amazing. So what are the 3 or multiple easy automation steps that a factory can take to call that the factory is automated, or how do we improve efficiency? What are the simple steps that we need to take?
The key to me is not to wait for the final version of a dark factory to appear right next door to you before you make a move. So there are many mundane improvements which can yield a very high return on a very small investment when it comes to digitization and automation. We look at each operation, each movement made by our associates on a daily basis to understand how it can be made easier and more efficient, starting with folder attachments to auto trimmers to laser guides. One can introduce so many inexpensive improvements that can de-skill an operation and increase productivity. Though single such addition sounds and looks insignificant, when you apply it to a factory with 1,000 machines, it will bring marked improvements, as well as a lot of job satisfaction for your workforce. Next stage is to look for newer or improved machinery with part or full automation. Things like attaching waistbands, placard setting, 5-pocket attachments can have, I mean, they have already been automated for a long time. And once this is done, you can get a single operator to run multiple machines in a more agile and flexible manufacturing environment. It de-skills the operation, and with that, it upskills the operator, enhancing his or her value addition. So that's another stage which we naturally move into. Outside sewing, obviously there are many other areas of automation with auto cutters, threaders, AI-based fabric inspection machines that can further enhance productivity of the overall operation. A smart factory can also be a stage in this evolution. So that will naturally be the next step, I would say. Now that you have eliminated those operations that can be automated, you have an agile workforce, and further improvements may not be so easy to spot on visual inspection now. A smart factory where real-time data is obtained from each station can help heuristic or AI-based analysis where hidden issues can now be uncovered and solved. We have done this with great success. There is an investment required, but it's well worth it. So all this will improve productivity and reduce manpower requirements. Like we discussed, a true dark factory will require the involvement of the brands as well to design for manufacture, developing software products, silhouettes that can easily be automated, and still cater to the evolving needs of the end consumer. So it will be a collective effort that then takes it all into a dark factory concept.
I know that's a brilliant ask from the brand and everybody over there. So, I mean, like, to really summarize it, so it's basically you understand the movement of the labor inside and see where the efficiency can be improved, that can be automated, right? So coming to the next discussion point. So what is blockchain and how does this help in manufacturing efficiency? I know it's a very large topic to really cover in like couple of sentences, but an attempt to do that.
Blockchain, I assume the younger audience of ours will be able to better describe. It's a decentralized digital ledger, as we know, that can record transactions through the life cycle of a product in a way that can't be altered or manipulated easily. We mostly understand it in the form of cryptocurrencies, but it has many more useful applications in apparel. Though I have to admit that we have been a little slow to adopt it. Traceability and supply chain integration is one of the obvious benefits blockchain brings us. The ability to trace a product that you buy all the way back to its origins, understand where the cotton came from, the chemicals, the countries and factories it went through, labor conditions, how the value was distributed, can all lead to solutions that matter to the consumers in terms of transparency, sustainability, and their buying decision. One can use it further down the value chain to track the product as it gets recycled and gets into a circular economy as well. How blockchain can help us in improving manufacturing efficiency over and above what a smart factory already does is something we are still exploring. But we can foresee how it can lead to supply chain efficiencies in its ability to identify steps in the supply chain as the product goes through the value chain, the amount of time it spends at each stage, the value added, and so forth, leading to potential identification of trapped value that can be released back into the economy. Again, implementation of a meaningful customer-facing blockchain solution requires various players across the industry to work together to make it happen. There's a collective investment needed It requires the brands to identify how much of a premium consumers are willing to pay for such a solution, so that it can compensate for that investment. It requires some work to be done, and because of that reason, we haven't seen wide-scale adoption of wide-scale use of such solutions, except for probably in the luxury goods market. So I'm excited to with the opportunity. So hopefully we'll see something working at mass production level soon.
Great, great. That's well put about blockchain. Far-fetched right now, but I think digitalizing all the ledgers is the easiest thing that you can do. Right. I know. I mean, like Brandex do a lot of stuff in terms of consumer service. How do you think automation helped you to reach consumers' doorstep? I don't mean your buyer. I mean the end consumer. So what do you do there?
The demand is definitely there. So online sales as a category were outspacing store sales even before COVID, and it has become much more prevalent now. With it, there has been an increasing interest on-demand ordering from customers, vendor managed inventory, doorstep deliveries, like you mentioned. It's possible. We've tried it at small scale as well. It requires close integration between the systems run by the brands and those of the vendors. And it has to be all the way down from the customer to the apparel factory to the mills, as it has implications on grade and yarn booking as well. Inventory holding will move upstream to the vendors, and that can be compensated accordingly with the savings coming from not only reduced inventory levels at store, but also reduced cost of markdowns. So transparency, visibility, and integration are the key to getting it done. And if and when implemented, it can open the door for brand new solutions for the customer as well, like mass customizations. So it's something that's definitely possible, and digitization and digital solutions as it stands can enable it. The technology is already there. It's a matter of the industry coming together, getting together and saying, okay, this is what we want. We want to be truly a virtual supply chain and get it done.
I know how amazing it would be just calling manufacturer a partner in the brand, supplying it completely. Amazing. The last question, I'm just going to wrap up in a minute because I think we have other speakers. So how do you manage your lead times? And I heard stories about Brandex handling the lead time in very, very short duration. Just in time is the important thing for Brandex. So if you can just take a few seconds to explain what you do and how do you do, that would be amazing.
So in India, we have speed solutions that run as fast as 9 days from order to delivery at store in US. So how we've been able to achieve that is through supply chain integration. So all the vendors of the products that we need speed on inside our park, BIAC, Brandex India Apparel City, and so the mill, the labels, packaging, everything is there, and because of that, we can very quickly, as an order comes, very quickly coordinate and get the material into the factory within a couple of days, and then do the sewing. And then if we airlift it, we can actually achieve solutions that are as fast as 9 days from order to delivery. So regularly we do 14 days replenishment for common styles. So that's quite possible. Our secret was supply chain integration, and it takes some time for the suppliers to understand each other and work together. And I might add that that's something that India as a nation can actually get together and deliver for the rest of the world as well. So it's a great opportunity that we have to bring all our suppliers, all the vendors together to actually truly deliver that solution as a country. And that's quite possible. And we are also working with our suppliers to get there for a wide range of products than what we right now deliver from the park.
I know. That's exactly what's happening in India. Also, we have PM Mitra happening, which is everybody close to close to a system, so that it really helps us to quickly churn things. Thank you so much, Suchira, for giving the insights on digitalization and automation. Means a lot.